After tonight's game against the Maple Leafs, Paul Maurice had some interesting remarks when it comes to the officiating against the Florida Panthers, saying this. He also had this hilarious moment that came late in the third when the Leafs, who were down a couple at this point, pressed. Got one on net, a bit of a frenzy, but Bobrovsky's got it. When suddenly, O'Reilly was leaking, which kind of seemed to come out of nowhere, but taking a closer look, sure enough, Bennett clearly caught him up high. And although this was overall a bit of an odd sequence as nothing was called at first, the puck was actually about to be dropped when they, I guess, realized O'Reilly was bleeding and forced him to leave the ice, at which point the officials got together and figured they'd revisit this one and ultimately decided it was a double minor, which meant they could review it as well, and yeah, they got the right call in the end. But the camera then cut to Panthers head coach Paul Maurice, who slyly throws up his hands in what looks like gang signs or something, and this legitimately made me laugh. This is so good, like just stares down the ref. 5-1. But while funny, I don't know if I completely see where he was coming from. First of all, he claims it was 5 penalties to 1, but in reality, one of those was actually this double minor. And the Panthers did score on a delayed penalty earlier in the game, so really, it was more like 4-2. But regardless, I figured in this one, it'd be kind of fun to take a look at these penalties, and you guys can tell me. So right out of the gate, puck was along the boards, and Bennett comes flying in, hits Kampf, and just 2 minutes and 20 seconds into this series, the Leafs got on the power play first. 2 minutes for elbowing, and not a great angle here, but while I could see this going uncalled, you kind of don't know exactly what to expect, but either way, probably the right call. His elbow does get elevated here. Paul Maurice, though, didn't seem to think so, but it didn't really matter. They'd kill that one off, but then, just 26 seconds later, the Leafs pressing, and they got called again. This time, it was Forsling for tripping, and yeah, bit unlucky there. Stick gets caught up in the skate, but that's gonna get called. And so then the next one came over in the second period, where just after the Leafs got their first goal of the game and had some momentum going, the Leafs putting on some pressure again, and this time it's Mahura who gets called, and when we take a look, right there, he gets a stick up on Bunting, and again, I'd say that's the right call. Which then gets us over to the last one, which again was that double minor, and I mean, not much of an argument there. It is kind of strange that the ref didn't really see it right away. He's right there, so I guess he's focused on the puck, but again, they reviewed it and got it right. As for the Panthers, aside from that delayed penalty I mentioned, this was the only other penalty the Leafs got, which came right at the end of the first. Giordano got called for hooking right there. He gets a stick in there, so that's also the right call. And so, yeah, overall, I thought the officials actually did a pretty decent job. I don't know if maybe this is just a technique from Maurice to butter up the reffing for the rest of the series. I don't know, but you guys let me know. As for the game itself, while the Panthers didn't get a whole lot of power play action, it didn't seem to hurt them too much, as they not only scored first after Tkachuk puts one on net, and it's Cousins who was there to break the ice and got them up 1-0. They also scored again in the second. Ekblad throws one on net, and it was Sam Bennett in front who gets the credit after a double deflection goes off and Nyes, and then Bennett in front of the net. Bit of a tough break for Nyes there, but he would get that one back quick. Just 11 seconds later, on a great effort here, he put home his first playoff goal of his career on a beauty, and then just 7 minutes later, it was Bunting from O'Reilly who would tie it up with his first of the series. But despite the Maple Leafs coming back from a 2-goal deficit, it was the Panthers who would take back the lead after Declare got Verhaeghe on the breakaway. He goes down and rips one past Samsonov, catches him low glove, and they were up again. Which would get us over to the third and final period, and also back to that delayed penalty that led to that 6-on-5. Tkachuk to Montour, who blasted one on net, and just like that, regained the 2-goal lead for the Panthers, and this time would hold on and take game 1 4-2, and also would take the first game of this series. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one.